gon' shine. You better put your blockers on before you get blind. Wildcats gon' win. Yeah, we out.
Welcome to another new episode of Sports Corner. I'm your host, Felix Reyes Jr., and with me once again, I have Andre Miller. On today's show, we will discuss two men that people want to see fight, professional players with issues outside of the game that they play, and any expectations we have for our own Bethune-Cookman Wildcat football team. But first, the NBA season comes to an end tonight. The playoffs begins this Saturday, and we already know who the favorites are, but give me an underdog that you think can make a push for this NBA title.
The Brooklyn Nets is a team that I picked. The reason I picked the Brooklyn Nets is because they have won his last 11 games at the Barclays Center, and they are 18-2 in the last 20 games. They have had an outstanding stretch that including victories over Golden State Warriors, the Memphis Grizzlies, Heat, the Bulls, the Spurs, Mavericks, and Suns, and among others. The Nets have the league's sixth best defense since January 1st, so 5 ways I believe they can win it all would be their free throw shooting, which they rank 19, but every point counts in the playoffs.
Right.
They have limited their turnovers, and they have to keep their defense intensity up, which they improved their play since January. And perhaps the reason the upside, they gotta have a turnaround. Another thing is don't keep trying for the three-pointers.
Right.
By finishing 10th in three-point attempts per game and 11th in three-point percentage. However, that's good, but they have quite a few games where their three-pointers, wasn't going in.
Right.
So if that happens to happen in the playoffs, I hope the Nets, they need to realize that and take the ball to the rim. They have to limit their offensive rebound also because any team, they don't need to give their opponent any more second chances.
Exactly. Well, the team that I see that could scare some higher seeds would be the Golden State Warriors. Now, this is a young team led by Coach Mark Jackson, and they have a strong guard play from the Splash Brothers, Steph Curry and Klay Thompson. This team is top 10 in rebounding, assists, points scored, and points allowed. So this shows that not only do they score and pass the ball, but they also defend and limit you to one shot per possession. This is a team that's made the playoffs the last 2 seasons, and they are fearless. They're not going to be in admiration or of another team just because they are a lower seed. And if those 2 light-skinned brothers get hot, this team could go very far. All right. Now, although we secretly root for the underdog, some more loudly than others, in the NBA, the favorites usually win out in the 7-game series. So, which team do you think is actually going to win it all?
Well, to me, the team that I feel that will win it all will be the Miami Heat. Will be the Miami Heat. They're winning for the 3rd straight season. They have been to the finals 3 years in a row already, and the last team to make it to the final for 4 straight seasons was the Boston Celtics, which they did it in 1984 through 87. Even though the Heat has a lot on their shoulders and we all know perhaps in the playoff, anything goes. And the best team can turn into the worst, and the worst team can turn into the best. But as long as everyone stays healthy, which in a playoff there may be injuries which may cost a game, or just a player might just lose his groove.
Right.
So if the Heat keep up their intensity and play hard and stay confident, and their team will can't no team beat them in a 4 games.
The team that I have winning it all this year is the Oklahoma City Thunder. Kevin Durant, before the season, was on the record for saying that he was tired of being second place. This season, he definitely has played like it, and has been his most consistent He's been the most consistent player this season. LeBron said so himself, and I have no doubt that he'll win this year's MVP. For him to truly be number 1, though, he has got to raise that trophy over his head at the end of the season. Now, aside from Durant's scoring ability, this team plays strong defense. They have 4 guys in Westbrook, Cephalosha, Ibaka, and Perkins that are all at least top 5 defenders for their own position. They all have playoff experience and are looking as healthy as they've ever been right now. Okay, now that wraps up that. So this past weekend, Manny Pacquiao defeated Timothy Bradley Jr. by unanimous decision. Pac-Man has now won his last 2 fights. My question is, do you finally think that he will fight Floyd Mayweather?
Well, I see the only way Mayweather and Pacquiao will fight is if they sit down like, you know, normal human beings at a conference table and negotiate a good deal.
Right.
But and that's a problem due to, I guess, arguments and a little war between, you know, the Pacquiao promoters, you know, Top Rank, and Mayweather promoters, Golden Boys. The options are limited with Pacquiao, but I heard, you know, about the steroids conflict, so who knows if they will fight. But at this point, they refuse to do a business with each other, so it's unlikely Pacquiao and Mayweather will fight. The only people that can make them fight is the public, really.
Right.
If they, you know, boycott a lot of nonsense on May 3rd and boost the fight up.
Right. Well, my answer is probably not. The one thing that Floyd is better at than fighting is business. And when these two come to the table a few years ago, Floyd did not like the way Manny did business. The only reason a lot of people even want to see this fight is not even because these are the two best fighters, but because only they want to see Mayweather lose, and the only person that they could imagine beating him would be Pacquiao. We'll be right back after this quick break. You're watching.
Here on campus, we are a university that was founded on principles of faith. And so we strive to make sure that all of our students are cultivated academically, socially, and spiritually. We want to create atmospheres here where students are able to ask questions about their faith, where they have open and inviting atmospheres where they can come in and they can grow and experience new ways to worship and develop in their faith that they may not have been exposed to at home. We have our Religious Life Fellowship program, which invites students of all faiths to come together, fellowship with others, to grow and to ask questions and develop in their understanding of what it means to worship God for themselves. We also offer the Chapel Assistance Program for those who profess to have a call to ministry or to leadership in the church. In the program, we allow them to develop professional ministry skills, and we help them to get the exposure that may make them stronger ministers and servants in their communities. We understand in the chaplaincy department that each student needs their academic development in order to graduate and be successful and a global leader in the world. Each week on campus, we have our weekly chapel services on Wednesdays at 10:20. We invite scholars, ministers, servants from around our country to come in and speak to our students and just express to them what are the tenets of their stories that our students can glean from and grow as they develop their own stories of success. We offer pastoral care and support for all who are on campus, faculty, staff, and students, and no person is unwelcome on our campus and in our office.
You better put your blockers on before you get blind. Wildcats gon' win. Yeah, we out.
Welcome back to Sports Corner. Last week, the 49ers' Aldon Smith was arrested for indicating that he had a bomb which was false. He's not the first professional athlete to ever get arrested, and he certainly will not be the last. Do you think professional athletes should be cut from their teams due to illegal activities outside of the sport?
Well, that's a very hard decision to make because, you know, I was surprised with the release of Deshaun Jackson, which I feel if the player is worth it, give him another chance. But if you don't really need him, I feel that it's up to the coach. But at the same time, it's all about winning in the National League of Sports, not just fun and opportunity. So it's all about money. So they should just find the players, which if it conflicts with the team or messing up with the organization, I feel the player should be cut then. But if it's outside of the football field, then I feel that they should have another chance, or they should sit down at a table and have a final decision.
Okay. I personally do not think players should be cut from their team due to outside activities. The main reason is because if the player is talented enough, he will just find a new team, and in return, that could hurt your team. But don't get me wrong, I do think there should be some kind of consequence for these players. Players should not feel as if they are untouchable. These are grown men and should be forced to face some kind of blame for their actions. Whether that be a fine or suspension, something should be done. Now, our Bethune-Cookman Wildcat football team is currently in spring training. This Saturday, they will hold their annual inter-squad spring game at Municipal Stadium at 4 p.m. Tickets are $5, and a portion of the proceeds will be donated to the Daytona Beach Pop Warner football team. If any expectations do you have for the team this year?
Well, as we know, Brian Jenkins is a well coach and has, history with the team, leading them to the Classic Championship, the
Right.
Conference Championship, as well as getting into the playoffs for the past years. But the only thing I have to say is that they can't be satisfied with just that. They have to go further, which they need hunger and a fight on the defensive side, as well as throwing and scoring on offense. The defense needs a ball hawk on defense and a game breaker player on offense, because
Right.
if the whole team can't be great, then you need that one player, then the rest of the team will follow.
Yeah, the expectations for me for this team are fairly high. They are coming off back-to-back MEAC titles and are clearly the target in the conference. Once again, they lost some senior leadership with senior Eddie Poole graduating, but they are looking to come back even stronger. After an early exit from the playoffs this past year, they have got to be looking forward to trying to advance for an NCAA championship. Now, this wraps up today's episode of Sports Corner. With this being our last episode of the semester, we would like to thank you for supporting the show.
Well, we would also like to wish you all the sport teams good luck for the rest of their season. The rest of the season, and also congratulations to all the 2014 spring graduates from the great Bethune-Cookman.
Hell Wildcats.
Hell Wildcats.
Be sure to follow our Twitter and Instagram pages at BCU Sports Corner and give us feedback. I'm your host, Felix Reyes Jr.
And I'm Andre Miller.
See you next semester right here on Sports Corner.
Time, and yeah, we gon' shine. You better put your blockers on before you get blind. Why